Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I trust that you're doing well. Recently I had a request to take a look at the price action of Zilliqa, so in this video we'll do exactly that. If you like this kind of content, feel free to like, subscribe, and tick that bell for notifications. Let's get into the video. And here we have Zilliqa up on the daily chart in TradingView, ZIL versus USD on the daily. And if any of you out there are new to TA, you can use TradingView for free. I'll leave a link for that in the description down below, as well as the pinned comments. I do use a paid for version of this, as I use TA a lot in all my trading, as well as my investing, and for making these videos for you as well. But if you're brand new to TA, take advantage of the free version. You don't need to be spending your money on this. The free version is going to get you a long ways down the road to a place where you can at least make a decision if you want to be paying for this service, if you're going to be employing TA as your strategy in the future. But if you just want to follow along with my videos or someone else's TA videos, take advantage of the free version. So definitely look into the details of that and make a decision from there. Anyway, on to the video. We do see Zilliqa has, from a price action perspective, has been a bit of a laggard in the market. Zilliqa has good fundamentals. It's a good project. I do think it's here for the long term. So I'm not talking smack about it, but just as an honest observation of price action here, it has been a little bit of a laggard since the whole market went through this corrective phase back here. But that could change, and it could change very soon, as we do see Zilliqa at the time of recording actually coming into contact with that white 200 simple moving average here and putting in a pretty honest test of that at the time of recording here. And we do see also that since Zilliqa came in and stuck in this this potential macro bottom actually down here around the 5 cent mark. Bulls have been marching this up pretty orderly, actually. And Zilliqa's been overtaking a lot of these, major moving averages. And those moving averages are beginning to chase price action back here. We see pretty nice slopes. We see the lower periods getting above the higher periods. And we see that all taking place as Zilliqa comes into contact with that white 200 simple. So, at any given point, if we start to see a daily candle body close above this level here, Zilliqa could be looking to join the party from a price action perspective once more. I'm just going to look at something else here. I'm going to come here over to my moving averages. I do see a potential golden cross on the horizon here. That has not happened just yet. But we do see that the green 55 is getting very close to the 200 EMA here. And we do see the 200 EMA serving as quite a bit of support back here as well. And so we may get a golden cross on Zilliqa sometime soon here. I think that's actually quite probable. And as we can see, last time we got a golden cross on Zil was back here. And it went sideways for a bit. So it's not necessarily a good timing indicator, but it does let you know that it's probable that over time, well, look what Zilliqa went on to do. So I'm not going to hate on any golden crosses. But the way I like to play golden crosses, just so you know, is that I look for price action to test either a very relevant area, like a relevant area of support, or to test the cross itself. I look for price action to pull into that cross before being actionable, at least from a trading perspective. So for any of you traders out there that are learning to swing trade, I'd be looking for price action to pull in. So basically, when I get these crosses on the radar, like we can observe this cross back here, this is actually a pretty good example of that. When I see a golden cross come in right here, and as you can see, price action was living a little bit above it as that happened, which makes sense, as these moving averages do chase price action. But for me, that would have been, okay, that's on my radar now. We have this golden cross on the radar. Let's look for a significant pullback into that golden cross. Now, Zilliqa is it is a really wicky chart. So you see this giant wick come up here. I mean, emotions were probably running extremely high here. It would have been hard to been disciplined from an emotional perspective to wait for that pullback. But you do see that price action did pull in, testing that 55 here. Pretty emotional wick to the downside here as well, but no candle body closures. And for those of you that have been following my channel, I look for daily candle body closures, and that's exactly why. It helps me deal with these wicks. Getting this wick down below here would have been really scary, like, oh my god, look at this thing crash. But did the candle bodies close below that? Did not. We do see some candle bodies closing in and above this area around here. But we do see that ultimately it formed a higher low back here. And this chart I'm looking at here right now is actually going through some little bit of liquidity crisis back here as well, which I don't think is as much of a concern nowadays. But the point is that you see that the price action did pull into those areas, move sideways for quite a period of time here, a couple months by the looks of things here, before gaining this beautiful uptrend to the upside. So again, I would look for things to behave relatively similar here. If you see that golden cross fire off, then it's hey, That's on my radar. Let's look for price action to test that area. For me, I go for the candle body closures to help keep my emotions out of it, and then I look for price action to begin its upward trajectory. So never going to hit on a golden cross, but I do believe that's the proper way to approach a golden cross. I do see in this market a lot of people see the golden cross and then they're just bullish. And at the end of the day, they technically aren't wrong. But if you want to be a bit of a sniper, and if you're looking at this from a trader's perspective or for a bit more of a savvy investor perspective, look for the pullback and then accumulate. Because as you can see, the pullbacks come in around these areas here, and then it's just off to the moon over time. So if you're patient enough, wait for that. Let's do a little bit of a Fibonacci retracement. And you know what? With Zilliqa, I'm certainly going to take it from the wick high here. We'll come down to this wick low down here. Being that Zilliqa is a very wicky chart, I do like to use the wicks when stretching my fibs on this chart in particular. And for the most part, I do use the wicks. Some people use the closures where traders settled up. And I think both methods are perfectly acceptable. At the end of the day, it's TA. It's not a crystal ball. And as it's a matter of perspective as well. So whatever your eyes adjust to the best, and as you formulate your plan, is going to be what works best for you. But for me, it's on the wicks. Being that Zill's a wiki chart makes sense. And as we can see here, price action is coming in and actually testing the 0.382, the Fibonacci retracement. A very common area for bots and algos, as well as big money players in the space. And we do see that the white 200 simple moving average is actually coming into confluence with that. So for price action to be hesitating here is perfectly acceptable. We might even see a little bit of a pullback from here. That's totally fine. Maybe it comes and pulls back into this area here around the 11-cent mark. Doesn't have to do that, but if it did on first test of that area, I wouldn't be shocked by that. Not by any means. So what I'll be looking for here with Zilliqa is I'm looking for a daily candle body closure above this level. In this case here, I'd like to see it close above the 200 as well as the 0.382. So if we start seeing some daily candle bodies close around 13 cents, then I think that'll be signaling some likely that'll likely be initiating some moves to higher price levels over the midterm. And the next area that I'll be watching is 0.5. I do see WIC getting up to that area right here before its last significant move to the downside here over time. So that'd be the next area that I watch. So if we get those daily candle body closures above this area here, then I'm going to look for a daily candle body closure above the 0.5, and that is coming in at around that 15 and a half cent mark. So if you start to see candle bodies close above that level, then I think Zilliqa will be signaling to us that this is likely the macro low at that point in time. And right now, I'm going to hold on to an upwards bullish bias with this, as the rest of the market has been moving up nicely. Bitcoin is holding its own quite well around that $50,000 mark. And if Bitcoin and the rest of the market continues to move up higher, then I don't see any reason why Zilliqa wouldn't join that party over time. Now, for a bias buster to the downside, where would I be wrong about this analysis? Well, you know what? I'm going to say that over time, being that we're looking at a daily chart here, I'll be watching down here, 0.236, which is coming in around that about 10 cent mark. If we see price action come down and grind its way and begin to close below that level there, it'll be taking out this little pivot on the market here. I just need my little green circular thing here. If it starts taking out that pivot right there, down around that 10 cent mark, that's when I think that it'll be initiating some more downside price action. And I'd be looking for it to come in, maybe put in a test around this area here around 0.093 cents. And then if it starts breaking down below that, I'll be watching this area down below here coming in at around 5 cents. But I don't think that's what's happening. But that would be my condition for it. That would be my bias buster, as I like to use TA to make an actionable plan. I'd like to know just as much where I'm wrong as about where I'm going to be right. That's what helps me make a good plan and invest accordingly in these markets as well as trade them. So that's what I'll be looking at from a price action perspective. Down below, momentum looking good here. We're seeing that the RSI was in the bullish control zone not too long ago, got spat back up. But the bulls picked it back up pretty quickly here, getting above the positively sloped EMA and back in that bullish control zone. And what I like about that is the confluence of that read as price action grinds up against a very significant area on the price action here. Down below in the stochastics, we see them back in the bullish control zone as well, rhyming with the RSI. So momentum's looking good on more than one momentum indicator here. And we're actually seeing a fresh bullish cross on the MACD right here. And we're seeing a positive green bar momentum coming in. And again, I don't blindly take any signals off momentum indicators. It's always price action first. But when I see a bullish cross getting fired off as price action gets up to that's a pretty significant moving average, the white 200 simple. And, getting a nice volume read come in with a candle body closure above that would be very, very nice look from a price action perspective. And so, we're seeing lots of good positive signs here for Zilliqa, at least at the time recording. Of course, that can change as new data presents itself, but as of right now, I think it's fair to have an upside bias. We are seeing that volatility is right on the floor and is hinting that potentially it's ready to pick itself back up. We're looking for we're seeing the EMA here, which is in white. We're seeing it get very low read here. I mean, anything below 10 is a very low read. And we're seeing that the volatility is looking to cross the upside. This is not a direction, it's a direction neutral indicator. It's not going to tell you which way things are going to go. We look to our price action first. However, what it is telling us is that the gas tank is full here. That if price action rips to the upside, we could see some nice green candles coming in sometime soon, and then we're going to look for volatility to support that. We were looking for it to start to expand to the upside, getting above the EMA, and then that would be supporting the price action. In other words, saying that these moves to the upside are very real and very supported by market participants. So that everything is poised here and looking good. I mean, some of these altcoins that have been lagging the market are starting to look like they're ready for some moves. Now, no crystal balls here. We can't say that for sure. That's why we put those conditions on the chart that let us know when probability is shifting in favor of one direction or the other, as well as those areas that bust up our biases. I mean, when you become a mature trader and investor in a highly emotional market, for me, it's key to have those areas of confirmation so that so at times you can cut through a little bit of the hype or a little bit of the news and things like that. And not that news is necessarily bad. I do like to keep an eye on some of that as well, and fundamentals as well. But at the end of the day, I like to add TA into that. I look for everything to begin to rhyme with each other. Look for confluence between everything, and that's when you get your big plays. And it helps keep your capital safe first and foremost, and helps you come up with good ideas as far as exit strategies, accumulation strategies, and all that kind of fun stuff. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there. So in summary, looking for that candle body closure above the white 200 simple here, the 0.382, and that's going to come in at around just above that 13-cent mark. Getting daily candle body closures above that. Let's watch the 0.5. That's coming in around 15.5 cents. And again, the bias buster to the downside, we'll use the 0.382 because that's going to be disrupting this short-term daily uptrend. And that is coming in, again, around that 10-cent mark. Getting closures below that, then we look for lower price action. But until then, things are looking to the upside here. Anyways, thanks so much for coming by and checking out this video. Hopefully you found that helpful. Looking forward to seeing the next one. And until I do, have yourself a powerful day.